In the heart of America, a catastrophic storm was brewing. The year was 1934, and dust storms of unprecedented magnitude began to sweep across the Great Plains. These weren't ordinary storms. They were colossal walls of dirt that blotted out the sun, choking crops and forcing families from their homes. This was the Dust Bowl, an environmental disaster that would leave its mark on American history forever. The Dust Bowl was born from a perfect storm of drought and poor farming practices. Severe drought conditions dried out the topsoil, turning it into loose, airborne particles that could be carried for thousands of miles. These particles were composed of a variety of materials including skin cells, pollen, and dust mites, tiny creatures that thrived in the dry air. The result was an apocalyptic landscape where visibility dropped to near zero. The impact of these storms was devastating. Crops failed en masse, and entire towns were left in ruins. Farmers watched their livelihoods crumble beneath the relentless onslaught of dust. But the human cost was even greater. Families were forced to flee their homes, leaving behind everything they knew in search of better conditions. This mass exodus would be captured in one of the most iconic photographs of the era. As we delve deeper into this story, we'll see how the resilience and determination of these communities emerged from the darkest hours of the Dust Bowl. And we'll understand why that photograph remains a powerful symbol of their struggle. For now, let's explore the stark realities of life in the Dust Bowl, a time when hope seemed to have disappeared under a thick layer of dust. Before we begin, a small request. Most of the people listening tonight aren't subscribed. If this channel has ever helped you drift off, take a moment to subscribe. It's free, it helps this channel more than you'd think, and you can always change your mind later. And if you feel like it, leave a comment telling me where in the world you're listening from and what time it is where you are. I love reading them. One more thing before we begin. I'm also a co-founder of a sleep app, built to be the most affordable one out there. No ads, ever. Just sounds and stories made to help you sleep. It may not be released yet as this video goes up, but if you're watching a little later, it might be out by now. Have a look in the description below. It works on iPhone, Android, and everything in between. Downloading it is the best way to support this channel. Amidst the economic hardships of the Great Depression, there existed a government agency known as the Farm Security Administration, or FSA for short. The FSA was created under Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal program, with a specific mission to combat rural poverty in the United States. This was no small task. The Great Depression had left many American farmers destitute, their lands parched and crops failed due to severe drought and harsh economic conditions. Into this context stepped Dorothea Lange, a photographer who would go on to document the stark realities of these troubled times. Working for the FSA at the time, Lange captured the human cost and resilience of those affected by environmental catastrophes, providing a vivid record of the plight of American communities. Her photographs offer a poignant reminder of the enduring spirit of those who faced immense hardship under the weight of economic despair and environmental distress. On March 6, 1936, in the midst of the Dust Bowl migration, a photograph was captured that would come to define the despair and resilience of those affected by this environmental catastrophe. Her iconic photograph, now known as Migrant Mother, captures a mother with her children in Nipomo, California. The woman's face etches the lines of fatigue and worry, echoing the struggle of countless others during this period of crisis. The photograph is a testament to the human cost of environmental catastrophe, the invisible toll that dust storms, crop failures, and economic hardship took on families trying to survive in this harsh landscape. The photograph's significance lies not just in its emotional impact, but also in its historical context, serving as a reminder of the systemic issues that contributed to this crisis. Issues that are still relevant today. As we continue to grapple with environmental challenges and economic inequality, Migrant Mother stands as a powerful reminder of the human cost and resilience in the face of such adversity. Its legacy serves to inspire us to confront these issues head-on, ensuring that future generations do not have to endure similar hardships. In the heart of the Great Plains, an environmental catastrophe was brewing. the Dust Bowl migration would soon begin, displacing thousands from their homes. By 1934, severe drought and poor agricultural practices had turned a vast swath of land, approximately 100 million acres or 400,000 square kilometers, into a wasteland. The dust, light enough to be carried by the wind, blanketed the region. This dust was not just soil. It contained particles from various sources, including human skin cells and clothing fibers. People traveled far and wide in search of better living conditions, leaving behind their homes and livelihoods. The migration was desperate and widespread, affecting entire families and communities. In this part of the world, clotted cream was a rare delicacy, highly sought after by those who could afford it. A cream tea box for 2 people cost €8, a luxury in stark contrast to the hardships faced by those fleeing the Dust Bowl. The human cost of the Dust Bowl was immense. Thousands of families packed up what they could carry and left their homes, hoping to find refuge elsewhere. The migration was driven not just by desperation, but also by resilience, as people sought to save themselves and their loved ones from the harsh conditions. The Dust Bowl's impact extended far beyond its immediate borders, affecting agriculture and economies across the nation. As the dust storms continued, so did the exodus of those seeking a better life elsewhere. As the dust storms continued to ravage the Great Plains, thousands of families found themselves caught in a desperate situation. One such family was captured by Dorothea Lange's camera near Nipomo, California. Nipomo, once a thriving agricultural community, had been reduced to a desolate landscape. The relentless winds whipped up clouds of dust, choking the air and blanketing everything in sight. Thompson's tired and weary expression speaks volumes about the resilience and despair of those affected by the Dust Bowl. Her children, clad in worn-out clothes, cling to her as if seeking solace in their mother's embrace. The image conveys a sense of hopelessness, yet also a quiet strength. Despite the hardships they endured, there was an unyielding spirit that refused to be broken. The photograph was taken near a pea pickers camp, a makeshift settlement where migrant workers like Thompson sought temporary refuge from the storms and economic collapse. These camps were often little more than tents or shacks thrown together with whatever materials could be scavenged, providing only a modicum of protection against the elements. The community around Nipomo was just one example of many similar stories playing out across the country. Families uprooted from their homes and livelihoods sought out any place that might offer a glimmer of hope. The Dust Bowl's devastation was not just a physical catastrophe, but also an emotional one. The families who fled carried with them the weight of their lost homes and dreams. Yet within this bleakness, there remained a spark of human resilience. Families like Thompson's embodied the broader story of the Dust Bowl, a tale of tragedy and endurance. The photograph captures the hopelessness and desperation of those displaced by the storms, but it also hints at an underlying resilience, a spirit that refused to be broken despite the adversities faced. Thompson's gaze, though weary and filled with worry, holds a glimmer of defiance. It is this duality, the despair and the resilience, that makes migrant mothers so profoundly powerful. The image encapsulates both the struggle and the enduring spirit of the migrants, serving as a poignant reminder that even in the darkest times, human dignity and perseverance can shine through. As we look at Migrant Mother, we are not just witnessing a moment of desperation, but also a testament to the indomitable human spirit that has weathered countless storms. This iconic photograph stands as both a memorial to those who suffered and a beacon of hope for future generations, reminding us that even in our darkest hours, there is always the potential for resilience. The Dust Bowl affected the Great Plains region, including states like Oklahoma and Kansas. The intense and frequent dust storms led to mass migration, with families uprooting their lives in search of better conditions. The enduring influence of Dorothea Lange's photograph serves as a powerful reminder that even in our darkest hours, there is always the potential for resilience and hope. Thompson, a mother of 7, has just sold the tires from her car to buy food for her family. Her children huddle around her, their faces etched with hunger and exhaustion. As Lange takes the photograph, she captures not just a moment of despair, but also an unyielding spirit of resilience. This is not merely a story of hardship, it's a testament to human perseverance. Further south, in Oklahoma and Kansas, the Great Plains are choked with dust. Intense and frequent storms have turned day into night and rendered farmlands barren. Yet amidst this bleak landscape, communities band together. They form makeshift shelters from old tarps and salvaged wood. These ad hoc villages offer a sliver of hope in the face of despair. In these desperate times, simple acts of kindness become beacons of light. A neighbour might share their last crumb of bread, a stranger offer shelter for the night. The Dust Bowl migration covers an area of approximately 100 million acres, stretching across multiple states and affecting countless lives. Yet within this vast expanse, resilience blooms like a hardy wildflower. Think of the children in these migrations, small, dust-covered faces filled with uncertainty, but also an innate human capacity for hope and endurance. For every Florence Owens Thompson, there are countless others whose stories of courage and fortitude remain untold. Yet each is a living testament to the indomitable human spirit. As we gaze upon this iconic image, let's take a moment to breathe in the profound resilience of those who have faced and overcome insurmountable challenges. Their stories serve as a soft settle, a gentle reminder that no matter how harsh the environment, there is always room for hope and perseverance. Her work during the Great Depression is considered one of the most significant documentary photography collections in American history, providing a poignant testament to human endurance and suffering. As we consider the broader cultural and social effects of this era, it's clear that the lessons of resilience and hope captured by Lange continue to resonate deeply. The subject's occupation as a pea picker underscores the broader economic struggles of the time. Today, as we grapple with new environmental challenges, the relevance of this photograph is undeniable. It serves as a reminder of the enduring human spirit and the need to address pressing environmental issues. The image continues to be remembered and appreciated for its stark portrayal of the human condition during times of adversity. As we reflect on the past and look towards the future, Dorothea Lange's work serves as a poignant reminder of our shared humanity and the importance of preserving our environment. Throughout this period, she documented the lives of people affected by environmental catastrophes and economic hardships. One of her most iconic photographs, Migrant Mother, captured the despair and resilience of those displaced by the Dust Bowl. This image serves as a powerful testament to the human cost of environmental disasters. As we look towards the future, the importance of such documentation becomes even more apparent. Environmental catastrophes are expected to increase in frequency and severity due to climate change. Therefore, the need for thorough and empathetic documentation will be crucial in preserving history and raising awareness. Documentary photography like Lange's can highlight the urgent need for action and inspire future generations to take responsibility for our planet. In the early 1930s, as the Dust Bowl ravaged the Great Plains, government agencies like the Resettlement Administration stepped in to provide relief efforts for those displaced by drought and dust storms. The Resettlement Administration aimed to create planned communities that would offer jobs, housing, and a sense of stability to the migrants fleeing their homelands. One such community was Greenbelt, Maryland, a town designed to provide affordable housing and job opportunities for those who had been devastated by the environmental catastrophe. Here, families could find work in government offices or at the nearby Greenbelt Hospital, giving them a chance to rebuild their lives after the upheaval of the Dust Bowl migration. Despite these efforts, not all relief programs were as successful. The government-built camps known as federal subsistence homesteads often failed to provide the long-term stability needed by those who had lost everything. In these camps, migrants were given temporary housing and basic necessities, but the lack of permanent jobs and the transient nature of the accommodations left many feeling adrift and uncertain about their future. However, even in these less successful endeavours, there were stories of resilience and hope. Many migrants who passed through the federal subsistence homesteads eventually found their way to more permanent settlements or jobs that allowed them to rebuild their lives. These intense and frequent storms took a significant toll on the health of migrants, who who often suffered from dust pneumonia, a severe lung infection caused by inhaling large amounts of fine dust particles. Malnutrition was also rampant among the migrants, as the harsh conditions made it difficult to grow and obtain adequate food supplies. The psychological trauma of leaving their homes and facing an uncertain future added another layer of stress to their already challenging circumstances. Despite these hardships, many migrants demonstrated remarkable resilience. Stories of those who overcame these obstacles serve as a testament to the human capacity for endurance and adaptability. The physical and mental toll of this environmental disaster is evident in every line on their faces, yet amidst the despair lies a silent strength that has come to symbolize the enduring spirit of those affected by such catastrophes. In the face of such devastating hardship, education became a beacon of hope for young migrants in the Dust Bowl era. Schools were set up within migrant camps, providing an essential lifeline for children displaced by the drought and dust storms. These makeshift classrooms were often little more than tents or abandoned buildings, but they offered something vital, the chance to learn and grow. Teachers, many of them volunteers, dedicated themselves to nurturing young minds amidst the chaos and despair. The curriculum was basic but essential: reading, writing, arithmetic, and a bit of geography to help them understand their new surroundings. Stories abound of students who, despite the bleak conditions, flourished under this rudimentary education. Education provided Troy and countless others with a pathway out of poverty, offering them the skills to build better lives for themselves. In an era where opportunities were scarce, education was more than just a right. It was a lifeline, a promise of a brighter future. These schools and the migrant camps served not only to educate, but also to instill hope and resilience in those who would carry on their families' legacies. Through the simple act of learning, children like Troy were given a chance to dream beyond the hardships they faced daily. Their stories serve as powerful reminders that even in the darkest of times, education can be a force for hope and transformation. And so, amidst the swirling dust and desperation, these educational opportunities stood as beacons of light, guiding young migrants towards brighter futures. In the face of unforgiving dust storms and economic despair, Dust Bowl migrants didn't just flee their homes, they formed new ones together. As they journeyed westward, many gathered in makeshift encampments known as Hoovervilles. These were not merely places to sleep, they became hubs of community, offering both practical assistance and emotional solace. Social support was the lifeblood of these Hoovervilles. Migrants pooled resources to purchase food, clothing, and other necessities. Mutual aid societies ensured that no one was left behind. In these tough times, the warmth of communal living was a balm for weary souls. Families and individuals took comfort in sharing meals, telling stories, and simply being together. These interactions weren't just pleasantries, they were lifelines that bolstered resilience. The Hoovervilles weren't perfect. They faced overcrowding, sanitation issues, and the constant threat of eviction by local authorities. Yet, within these fraught conditions, bonds of friendship and camaraderie formed that transcended immediate hardship. These networks provided more than just material aid. They offered emotional sustenance in a world that often felt harsh and unforgiving. The solidarity forged within these communities was a testament to human resilience, even in the face of profound adversity. As the FSA photographer, Lange travelled across the United States, documenting the lives of those displaced by the Dust Bowl. Her work was not merely observational, it served as a crucial tool for advocacy and policy change. The photographs she took were used to raise public awareness about the harsh conditions faced by migrant families. Journalists and photographers like Lange played a vital role in shaping public opinion and influencing policy decisions during the Dust Bowl crisis. Their documentation of the human suffering and resilience helped to galvanize support for New Deal programs aimed at providing relief to affected families. The photographs taken during this period offered a stark contrast to the romanticized images of the American West. Instead of rugged individualism and frontier spirit, they portrayed people on the brink of despair, clinging to hope amidst dire circumstances. Through their lenses, journalists and photographers brought a sobering reality into living rooms across the country. Families like Florence Owens Thompson's became the face of the Dust Bowl tragedy, making the abstract statistics real and relatable. The emotional resonance of these images forced a reckoning with the true scope of the crisis. They illustrated not just the environmental devastation, but also the personal toll it took on those who had to abandon their homes and livelihoods. Dorothea Lange's Migrant Mother remains a poignant reminder of the human cost and resilience that marked this period in American history. Through her lens, we see not just despair, but also an unyielding determination to survive and thrive. The story of the Dust Bowl is one of both tragedy and hope, as captured through the lens of journalism and photography. It serves as a testament to the power of documentation in revealing the human experience behind catastrophic events. In an attempt to address the crisis, the government established specific programs aimed at providing immediate relief and long-term solutions. One of the key initiatives was the Resettlement Administration. To complement these efforts, the Civilian Conservation Corps, CCC, was deployed to implement conservation practices that could prevent future dust storms. The CCC's work involved planting shelter belts and improving land use practices to combat soil erosion. Despite these efforts, the immediate effects on migrants were profound. Many families found themselves in temporary camps with limited resources and basic amenities. The government's response, while well-intentioned, struggled to keep pace with the sheer magnitude of the crisis. Lange's work serves as a stark reminder of both the limitations of government response and the incredible resilience of those affected by environmental disasters. While the government's programs like the Resettlement Administration and CCC initiatives aim to provide relief and prevent future crises, the human cost of the Dust Bowl was immense. Upon arrival, many migrants found work in the burgeoning agricultural sector of California. Their familiarity with farming under challenging conditions proved invaluable. They introduced new crop varieties that were better suited to the state's climate and soil conditions. These migrants also brought with them innovative farming techniques such as dryland farming and terracing, which helped to preserve the fragile topsoil of California's fields. Their expertise in coping with drought and harsh weather made them well equipped to manage the state's variable climate. In addition to their agricultural contributions, Dust Bowl migrants had a significant impact on labor conditions in California. They often worked for lower wages than native Californians, which led to labor disputes and strikes. However, their determination and grit played a crucial role in shaping the state's labor movement. Their presence also reshaped community dynamics, as migrants established new social networks and cultural institutions. Churches, schools, and community centres sprang up to serve these newly arrived populations, fostering a sense of community and belonging in their new homes. Their resilience was evident not only in their ability to adapt to new environments, but also in their determination to build better lives for themselves and future generations. This spirit of perseverance left an indelible mark on the state, illustrating how even in the face of immense hardship, human resilience can lead to lasting contributions. Despite the challenges they faced, many migrants integrated successfully into their new communities, contributing to the economic and cultural vitality of California. Their legacy continues to be felt in the diverse agricultural landscape and vibrant communities that they helped to shape. This resilience is not merely historical, but a testament to the enduring human capacity for adaptation and renewal. As we reflect on the cultural impact of Dust Bowl migrants, we are reminded that even in the darkest hours, hope and perseverance can flourish. Lange's style is documentary, stark, honest, and unfiltered. She shows not just the despair of the Dust Bowl, but the resilience of its people. In Migrant Mother, a weary woman clutches her children. The lines on her face tell stories of hardship and hope. Besides Migrant Mother, her work includes White Angel Breadline. Here, a volunteer offers bread to the desperate. Lange's influence extends to future documentarians like Diane Arbus and Robert Capa. She inspires a raw, emotional approach to photography, capturing reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. In Migrant Mother, the woman's strength amidst despair echoes in generations of documentary photography. Lange's legacy is a reminder. even in adversity, human resilience can be captured and celebrated. And her style endures, raw, honest, and unyielding in its portrayal of the human experience. The Dust Bowl's impact was not uniform. Certain communities bore the brunt more than others. Among them were Indigenous communities, who faced a unique set of challenges during this environmental catastrophe. These communities often lacked the resources and social support networks that others had access to. The severe drought and dust storms disrupted their traditional ways of life, which were deeply connected to the land. For generations, many Indigenous tribes had relied on sustainable farming practices and the predictable cycles of nature for their livelihoods. The sudden onset of the Dust Bowl threw these carefully balanced systems into chaos. The intense dust storms, known as black blizzards, made it nearly impossible to navigate and work outdoors. Crops failed, and many families found themselves without food or a means of income. Compounding the issue was the widespread displacement caused by these storms. Hundreds of thousands of people were forced to migrate, leaving their homes in search of better conditions. For Indigenous communities, this meant leaving behind not only material possessions, but also cultural and spiritual ties to the land that had been nurtured over centuries. While some migrants could rely on support networks in their new destinations, many Indigenous people found themselves isolated and adrift in unfamiliar territories. Efforts to provide assistance were often insufficient and ill-suited to their specific needs. Government relief programs frequently overlooked the unique challenges faced by Indigenous communities. Recognizing these disparities, some grassroots organizations and individual advocates stepped in to offer targeted support. They provided culturally appropriate resources and created safe spaces for Indigenous families. Though these efforts were commendable, they were often limited in scope and impact. The sheer scale of the disaster meant that many Indigenous communities continued to struggle. The Dust Bowl's human cost was thus borne most acutely by those who had the fewest resources and the deepest connections to the land. Their experiences highlight the diversity of struggles during this period. As we reflect on these stories, we deepen our understanding of the human experience amidst environmental catastrophe. The resilience and challenges faced by Indigenous communities offer a poignant reminder of the complex tapestry of the Dust Bowl's legacy. Stories of women who found work and supported their families are particularly striking. In some cases, they secured jobs in fields that were previously dominated by men. These women not only provided financial stability, but also maintained a sense of normalcy amidst the turmoil. Government aid targeted at women and children was crucial during this period. Programs like the Farm Security Administration, FSA, provided much-needed assistance, offering food, clothing, and shelter to those displaced by the Dust Bowl. The resilience of women during this time cannot be overstated. They played a pivotal role in maintaining family unity, finding work, and providing emotional support. Their stories are a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure even the most challenging circumstances. As we look back at the Dust Bowl migration, it's clear that women were not just victims of circumstance, but active agents in their family's survival. Their efforts highlight the crucial role they played in maintaining stability and hope during an incredibly challenging time. The Dust Bowl's relentless storms brought more than just desolation and despair. They also carried a silent, insidious threat: dust pneumonia. This debilitating lung condition was caused by inhaling the fine particles of dust that filled the air during these intense storms. Doctors began to see a rise in patients complaining of severe coughing, chest pain, and difficulty breathing. The fine particles of dust would settle deep within the lungs, causing inflammation and making it hard for sufferers to draw a breath. Medical professionals were initially caught off guard by this new health crisis. They had to quickly develop treatments and strategies to help those affected by dust pneumonia. One of the first lines of treatment involved isolating patients in clean, dust-free environments. This gave the lungs a chance to heal and expel the irritating particles. To aid in recovery, doctors prescribed steam inhalations and warm compressors. These methods helped loosen the dust trapped in the lungs and made it easier for patients to cough them out. public health officials also recognized that education was crucial. They launched campaigns to teach people about the dangers of dust storms and how to protect themselves during these events. These efforts included recommending the use of simple cloth masks or even wet bandanas wrapped around the face to filter out some of the harmful dust particles. The crisis also spurred advancements in public health. Scientists began studying the composition and effects of dust more closely, leading to new insights into respiratory health. These medical challenges highlighted another dimension of human cost and resilience. Despite the hardships, people found ways to adapt and survive, demonstrating their remarkable fortitude in the face of environmental adversity. Leaving behind their homes and livelihoods, the Dust Bowl migrants faced immense financial hardships. As they travelled westward in search of work and a better life, they often arrived with little more than the clothes on their backs. Their economic struggles were compounded by the lack of job opportunities in the regions they fled to. Finding work was a challenge, and when they did secure employment, wages were typically low. To make ends meet, many families had to rely on temporary and makeshift accommodations. Tents and lean-tos became common sights in the migrant camps that sprang up along the roadside. The federal government responded to the crisis by establishing the Resettlement Administration in 1935, which aimed to provide basic necessities and work opportunities for displaced families. Through programs like the Farm Security Administration, FSA, migrants could access funds for food, clothing, and even small loans to restart their lives. This aid was a lifeline for many struggling families. One such family was the Jodes, whose story became famously chronicled by John Steinbeck in The Grapes of Wrath. Despite facing initial setbacks, they eventually found a measure of stability and hope. The Jodes' journey was not unique. Many migrants faced similar hardships, but also managed to find economic recovery through community support and their own resilience. Over time, some families managed to save enough money to start over again. Stories of successful farms and businesses established by former Dust Bowl migrants began to emerge across the West. These stories of economic recovery are testaments to human resilience in the face of adversity. They demonstrate that even after experiencing severe hardships, people can rebuild and thrive. As we see through these examples, the journey to economic recovery was a long and difficult one, but not impossible. It underscores the remarkable capacity of people to adapt and overcome even in the harshest conditions. The road to economic stability was paved with countless challenges, but the enduring spirit of these migrants paved the way for a brighter future. Through community support and their own determination, many Dust Bowl migrants were able to rise above their financial struggles and create new lives for themselves and their families. Economic recovery, while hard-won, offered a beacon of hope amidst the despair and showed that even in the darkest times there was potential for renewal. And so, through their resilience and determination, many migrants not only survived but also thrived, creating a new chapter in the American story of hardship and triumph. The Great Depression was a perfect storm of economic woes. The stock market crash of 1929 wiped out savings, banks closed on mass, leaving depositors penniless, and jobs vanished overnight. In California, where many migrants sought refuge, the unemployment rate soared to 35%. This meant that for every 3 people trying to find work, only 1 had a job. With jobs scarce and wages low, migrant families struggled to afford even basic necessities like food and shelter. Many were forced into makeshift camps, living in tents or shacks cobbled together from whatever materials they could find. These Hoovervilles, as they came to be called, were a stark symbol of the times. The economic crisis was not just an abstract figure or statistic, it was a living nightmare for those trapped in its grip. As Dorothea Lange's camera captured, these were families pushed to the brink, enduring hardships that no one should ever have to bear. And yet, despite all this, there was a resilience that could not be broken. In the midst of despair, these migrants clung to hope and fought for survival. Their story serves as a testament to the multifaceted hardships endured by those affected by environmental catastrophes. Mothers would often have to choose between feeding themselves and feeding their infants. This dire choice underscored the desperate nature of the situation. Infants were particularly at risk for dust-related illnesses, as tiny particles could easily infiltrate their underdeveloped lungs. The constant exposure to dust storms meant that infants often suffered from respiratory issues such as pneumonia and bronchitis. These health problems were compounded by the lack of access to adequate medical care, especially in rural areas. Moreover, the dust itself was laden with harmful contaminants that could worsen existing health conditions. The environmental catastrophe thus became a tangible threat to the most vulnerable members of society. As we look back at this historical event, it is crucial to remember that the most vulnerable among us bear the brunt of such disasters. The resilience of those affected, as captured in Lange's work, continues to be a testament to human fortitude. Their story serves as both a cautionary tale and an inspiration, highlighting the importance of addressing the needs of the most vulnerable in times of crisis. With farms failing and families displaced, religious institutions across the Great Plains became beacons of hope. They opened their doors to migrant families, offering shelter, food, and a sense of community. Churches provided not only physical necessities, but also moral support. Pastors and congregations organized work programs, distributed aid packages, and offered spiritual counseling. One notable effort was the Red Cross program, where churches partnered with local communities to set up relief centers. Churches also helped migrants navigate government assistance programs and find temporary housing. These communities of faith were instrumental in keeping families together during a time of immense hardship. Amid the unrelenting drought and searing winds, homes across the Great Plains were reduced to mere shells of their former selves. Dust storms, often referred to as black blizzards, swept through towns with terrifying frequency. The relentless onslaught of dust and wind stripped roofs bare, leaving exposed rafters that once protected families from the elements. Windows shattered under the force of gritty particles, allowing dust to infiltrate every corner of homes that were once sanctuaries. The fine sediment seeped into closets and cupboards, coating clothing and belongings with a thick layer of grime. Furniture became encrusted, rendering once prized possessions unrecognizable and unusable. Photographs and mementos, symbols of personal history and family life, were irreparably marred by the relentless dust. Beneath this layer of devastation lay the heart-rending reality that many families had no choice but to abandon their homes. In the wake of these storms, households were left with little more than the clothes on their backs and a few salvaged items. The material losses deepened the despair of those forced to flee, symbolizing the shattering of lives built over generations. In response to the crisis, the US government established the Soil Conservation Service in 1935. This marked a significant shift in farming practices, emphasizing sustainable methods to prevent further degradation of land. The implementation of the service was driven by the recognition that intensive agricultural practices had exacerbated the drought, turning arable land into barren wastelands. Farmers were encouraged to adopt techniques like crop rotation and contour plowing. Environmental lobbying groups played a crucial role in advocating for these changes, highlighting the urgent need to preserve topsoil and prevent future dust storms. The migrant crisis also led to shifts in agricultural subsidies and support programs. The government began offering financial assistance to farmers who adopted sustainable practices, aiming to mitigate the risk of another environmental catastrophe. This marked a shift in policy, moving away from subsidizing crops like wheat and corn that contributed to soil erosion. Instead, the focus turned to supporting diversified farming practices that promoted long-term sustainability. As the nation grappled with the consequences of the Dust Bowl, the collective suffering drove a commitment to more sustainable agricultural policies, reflecting a growing understanding of the interconnectedness of people and the environment. The implementation of these new policies was a testament to the power of human suffering in driving systemic change, contributing to a narrative of resilience and adaptation in the face of adversity. This shift in policy reflected a newfound appreciation for the delicate balance between agricultural productivity and environmental preservation, paving the way for more sustainable farming practices in the future. In the wake of the Dust Bowl, migrants found solace and expression in the music of Woody Guthrie. During those harsh years, Guthrie's songs became a soundtrack to their journey, a testament to resilience and hope amidst despair. Storytelling was their lifeline, a way to cope with hardship and preserve their experiences. Guthrie's lyrics echoed the struggles of the migrants, from the desolation of their abandoned homes to the endless roads they travelled. Each song was a story. Each line resonated with those who heard them. His guitar played in communal gatherings, around campfires where tales were shared and memories kept alive. Folklore emerged from these moments, woven into the tapestry of America's history. Beyond Guthrie, folklore and oral histories held power. Elders passed down tales of perseverance to the younger generations, maintaining a sense of identity amidst displacement. In these gatherings, the human cost of the Dust Bowl was laid bare. The pain, the loss, but also the indomitable spirit that refused to break. These stories were not just about survival, they celebrated resilience. Through music and storytelling, the migrants found a means to hold on to hope, a beacon guiding them through darkness. In each tale, in every note, there was a profound understanding. Their journey was part of something larger, a testament to the human spirit. As we look back at those difficult times, it is clear that storytelling was more than a means of expression. It was an act of defiance, a declaration of endurance against the odds. The Dust Bowl's environmental displacement was more than a physical relocation. It was an unseen burden that followed those who fled, a psychological toll often overlooked in the historical narrative. Studies on migrants from these eras reveal heightened rates of PTSD and depression. The trauma of uprooting, losing homes, and witnessing the devastation left lasting mental scars. Family structures, the bedrock of stability, were strained as loved ones dispersed in search of opportunity. But amidst this adversity, there was resilience. Communities formed support networks, sharing resources and providing emotional solace. These collective efforts became lifelines in the face of hardship, underscoring the human capacity to endure and adapt even in the harshest conditions. Amid the desolation of the Dust Bowl, relief efforts aimed to provide respite and hope. Yet, these lifelines were not equally accessible to all. A stark reality emerged. Racial disparities severely impacted who received aid and how. This chapter explores the human cost and resilience in navigating such inequities. In Oklahoma, where droughts and dust storms ravaged the landscape, relief camps were segregated based on race. White families often had better access to resources, while black migrants faced significant obstacles. The camp at Boley, Oklahoma, for example, was reserved exclusively for black families. While it offered some measure of relief, the resources were often inadequate and the conditions harsh. Case studies reveal stark differences in treatment. In 1935, a black migrant family seeking aid at a camp near Guayman, Oklahoma, was turned away and told to find relief elsewhere. Advocacy groups like the NAACP fought against these injustices, highlighting the plight of marginalized communities. They argued that racial segregation exacerbated the hardships faced by black migrants. Despite limited resources, these advocacy efforts provided a lifeline of hope and resistance. They underscored the resilience of communities facing adversity on multiple fronts: environmental catastrophe and racial inequality. The collective efforts of these advocacy groups became beacons in the darkness, demonstrating that even in the most trying circumstances, there was a struggle for justice and equality. Highlighting these racial disparities offers another layer to our understanding of human cost and resilience. It shows how marginalized communities navigated not only the brutal environment, but also systemic injustices. This legacy reminds us of the enduring spirit that enabled people to persist and fight back against overwhelming odds. The Dust Bowl's intense dust storms and prolonged drought shattered the fabric of communities across the Great Plains in the 1930s. Families were forced to adapt as traditional family roles and support systems crumbled under economic hardship. Drought and dust storms led to crop failures and financial ruin. Fathers, once the primary breadwinners, found themselves unable to provide. Children, as young as 7 or 8, were pulled out of school and put to work in the fields. These young ones, who should have been learning their ABCs, were now toiling under the hot sun, their small hands sorting and picking whatever crops survived the storms. The economic strain also led many families to abandon their homes in search of better opportunities. This mass migration further fractured family units and support networks. Parents who once relied on the help of extended families now found themselves isolated in new, unfamiliar territories, their resilience tested to the limits. Lost amidst the vastness of the American landscape, these families faced not just individual struggle, but also the dissolution of their support systems, leaving them to bear the weight of adversity alone. The legacy of the Dust Bowl serves as a stark reminder of how environmental catastrophes can shatter not just livelihoods but also the very fabric that holds our communities together. In the heart of the Dust Bowl, amidst the storms that choked the skies and parched the earth, a quiet resistance began to take shape. Local charities emerged as beacons of hope in the midst of despair. Churches, often the heartbeat of small towns, opened their doors wide to offer shelter and safety. The pews that once echoed with hymns now hummed with the soft sounds of exhausted families finding refuge. The Red Cross, a familiar face in times of crisis, set up makeshift clinics to tend to those suffering from dust pneumonia and other ailments exacerbated by the harsh conditions. Volunteers, with their hearts full and hands steady, worked tirelessly to bandage wounds, both physical and emotional. The Salvation Army, a stalwart in times of need, distributed food and clothing to those left destitute by the storms. Their trucks rumbled through dusty streets, bringing not just supplies but also a sense of humanity that was so often lost in the swirling chaos. Grassroots initiatives, born from the resilient spirit of communities, sprang up to lend a helping hand. Neighbours shared what little they had, knowing that their own survival depended on the collective strength of those around them. These local charities were not just providers of essentials, they were symbols of hope and resilience in the face of adversity. They showed that even in the darkest hours, when the very earth seemed to turn against them, there was a light that could not be extinguished. And so, amidst the howling winds and choking dust, there emerged a silent testament to human resilience. Local charities stood as steadfast sentinels, guarding the embers of hope that would one day reignite the plains. Their story serves as a reminder that even in the most desolate of times, there is an indomitable force within us, a capacity for compassion and care that transcends the harshest of elements. As we move forward, let us carry with us this vision of communities coming together in their darkest hour, illuminating the path to a brighter tomorrow. The Dust Bowl migration brought not just physical hardship, but also the loss of educational opportunities for hundreds of thousands of children. As families left their homes in search of work, many found themselves living in makeshift camps and temporary shelters. These camps often lacked basic infrastructure, including schools. The children of migrant workers were left without access to education. In response to this crisis, the government and various organisations set up temporary schools in migrant camps. These schools were crucial lifelines for the children of migrant workers, offering them a chance to continue their education. However, the conditions in these temporary schools were often challenging. Classrooms could be overcrowded and under-resourced. The high dropout rates among migrant children were a stark indicator of the economic necessity that often forced them to leave school. Many migrant children were compelled to work alongside their families to help make ends meet, further hindering their educational prospects. The loss of educational opportunities had profound long-term impacts on these children's futures. As we consider the human cost of environmental catastrophe, it is essential to remember this hidden dimension, the loss of educational access. This challenge not only affected these children's immediate well-being, but also limited their future prospects and the potential for breaking out of the cycle of poverty. As we move forward in understanding the Dust Bowl migration's impact, let us keep in mind the resilience and potential of those whose education was interrupted. Amidst this crisis, artists stepped forward to document the experience, giving voice to those affected by the environmental catastrophe. Photographers like Arthur Rothstein and Walker Evans captured stark images of the desolation. Writer John Steinbeck's novel, The Grapes of Wrath, offered a poignant narrative of the Dust Bowl migration, highlighting the resilience and hardship faced by farmers and their families. Musician Woody Guthrie's Dust Bowl ballads brought the plight of the migrants to life through song, serving as a powerful medium to convey their struggles and hopes. These works not only captured the harsh realities, but also humanized the experience of those affected by the Dust Bowl. Each piece served as a testament to their resilience and potential. By documenting this environmental catastrophe through art, these artists helped shine a light on the human cost and the indomitable spirit of those who faced it. In doing so, they ensured that the story of the Dust Bowl would not be forgotten, but rather serve as a powerful reminder of both the devastating effects of environmental catastrophe and the remarkable strength of those who endure it. As we reflect on these works, we see how art can serve as a powerful medium to capture and convey the human experience during times of great adversity. Documentary filmmaking has played a crucial role in capturing the untold stories and experiences of Dust Bowl migrants. In 1936, Per Lorentz's documentary, The Plough That Broke the Plains, brought attention to the devastating impact of drought and poor farming practices in the Great Plains. Lorentz used stark images of withered crops, dried-up rivers, and desperate farmers to illustrate the catastrophe unfolding in states like Oklahoma and Kansas. This film was a wake-up call for many Americans who might not have realized the severity of the situation. The documentary provided a voice for the voiceless migrants, humanizing their plight and putting faces to the statistics of displacement and despair. It showed that the Dust Bowl was more than just a natural disaster, it was a human tragedy. By 1938, Lorentz's follow-up film The River focused on the Mississippi River Basin, further emphasizing how agricultural mismanagement can lead to environmental disasters. These documentaries influenced public policy and sparked relief efforts. They highlighted the urgent need for sustainable farming practices and government intervention to prevent future catastrophes like the Dust Bowl. This shift in public awareness contributed significantly to the establishment of programs such as the Soil Conservation Service, which aimed to educate farmers on better land use techniques. Documentaries also offered a platform for migrants themselves, giving them an opportunity to share their stories directly. This direct storytelling approach adds a layer of authenticity and emotional weight that resonates deeply with audiences. By capturing the human cost of environmental catastrophes, documentaries ensure that these stories are not just remembered, but also understood in their full complexity. They show not only what happened, but also how people endured and coped. The influence of such films extends beyond mere historical documentation. They serve as a reminder that behind every environmental crisis lie real people, families, and communities whose lives are irrevocably changed. As we grapple with contemporary environmental challenges like climate change, these documentaries serve as vital lessons in empathy and resilience. They underscore the importance of storytelling in raising awareness and mobilizing action. By showing how documentary filmmakers captured the human cost, this chapter emphasizes the importance of storytelling in understanding and addressing environmental catastrophes. It's not just about what happened, but also about who was affected and how they persevered. The experiences of these migrants fueled political activism, leading to significant reforms under President Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal. Labour movements and unionization efforts were inspired by the hardships faced by the migrants, who often found themselves exploited in fields and factories. In California's agricultural regions, where many migrants sought refuge, labour movements gained momentum. The struggles of these workers highlighted the need for better working conditions and fair wages, leading to the creation of unions that fought for their rights. The influence of these experiences extended beyond immediate labour reforms. The Dust Bowl migration had a lasting impact on future social and environmental activism, with many advocates drawing parallels between the plight of the migrants and contemporary issues. As we look back at Dorothea Lange's iconic photograph, we see more than just a moment of despair. We see the seeds of lasting change and political activism that will continue to shape our world long after the dust had settled. This chapter highlights how the resilience of migrants translated into enduring political and social change, reinforcing the importance of storytelling in understanding environmental catastrophes. As the Dust Bowl raged on, thousands of migrants sought refuge in California's San Joaquin Valley. Among them were families like the Joads, immortalized by John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath. Their journey was not just a physical odyssey, but also an encounter with diverse cultures, including Native American communities who had long inhabited these lands. The Chul, Cahuilla tribe, for instance, welcomed these newcomers with open arms. They shared vital knowledge about farming in the arid landscape, teaching the migrants how to irrigate their fields effectively. This cultural exchange was not one-sided. Migrant families brought with them skills and traditions from their own regions, enriching the local tapestry. For example, women from Oklahoma introduced their methods of canning fruits and vegetables, preserving food for leaner times. Together, they learned to adapt to the harsh conditions, combining their collective wisdom to survive. This collaboration was especially crucial during the intense dust storms that plagued the region. Native American tribes taught migrants how to predict these storms using natural signs and indicators. One striking instance of this cultural interchange was during a particularly severe dust storm. A young Navajo boy guided the migrants to a nearby cave, offering them shelter and safety until the storm passed. This act of kindness forged a deep bond between the two communities. As they huddled together in the cave, stories were shared, tales of resilience and hope from both cultures. These moments not only provided solace, but also wove a thread of unity amidst the chaos. Over time, these interactions shaped the cultural landscape of the region. Festivals and celebrations began to incorporate elements from both migrant and Native American traditions. The annual Harvest Festival became a vibrant blend of customs, reflecting the rich tapestry of their shared experiences. This chapter underscores the adaptability and resilience of communities in response to environmental catastrophe. The cultural exchange between Dust Bowl migrants and Native Americans enriched not only their survival, but also the broader narrative of human perseverance. The bonds forged during these trying times serve as a reminder that in the face of adversity, collaboration and mutual support can transform despair into hope. As dust storms intensified and swept across the Great Plains, the health of migrant children took a severe toll. Respiratory diseases skyrocketed among young migrants. The fine particles in the dust were inhaled deep into their lungs, causing inflammation and infection. Pneumonia and bronchitis became rampant, often leading to hospitalizations. Malnutrition was another dire consequence of the migration. Families struggling to find work could barely afford food, let alone nutritious meals. Children's growth was stunted as their bodies lacked essential vitamins and minerals. But the toll on children went beyond physical health. Psychological effects were profound. The stress of uprooting, the constant worry about safety and food, and the loss of community left deep emotional scars. Children often displayed signs of trauma, fearfulness, anxiety, and even depression. Despite these hardships, there were glimmers of hope. Communities banded together to provide support for migrant families. Schools set up clinics where children could receive medical care and meals. These efforts showed that even in the darkest times, human kindness could shine through. The story of migrant children during the Dust Bowl highlights not just their vulnerability, but also their resilience. Even amidst great adversity, there was a persistent spirit that refused to break. It's a reminder that no matter how harsh the conditions, the human capacity for hope and support remains unyielding. Lange's photograph was published in newspapers across the country, bringing the grim reality of the Dust Bowl migration into millions of homes. Other notable photographs from this time include Margaret Bort White's Fleeing a Dust Storm, which captured the sheer terror of a family trying to outrun a dust storm. These images were instrumental in shifting public opinion and driving social change. They brought home the severity of the Dust Bowl and the urgent need for government intervention. The impact was tangible. The FSA's photographic documentation helped secure funding for the resettlement programs that provided relief to thousands of migrant families. visual storytelling had a profound role in shaping public perception and policy during this pivotal time. It humanized crises, revealing the faces behind the statistics and galvanizing support for those in need. The power of photography lies not just in capturing moments, but also in giving a voice to those who might otherwise go unnoticed. Dorothea Lange's Migrant mother stands as an enduring testament to this transformative potential. Even in the most dire circumstances, images like these offer a glimpse of resilience and hope, reminding us that every crisis has a human face. The Dust Bowl crisis of the 1930s was a stark reminder that environmental catastrophes have a profound human cost. In the face of such devastation, it was often photography that offered a glimpse into the resilience and hope of those affected. The FSA employed photographers to travel across the country, documenting the living conditions of rural families and the impact of the Dust Bowl. Lange's photographs, along with those of her colleagues, provided critical visual evidence of the human suffering caused by the environmental crisis. These images were instrumental in shaping New Deal policies aimed at addressing rural poverty and the plight of migrant workers. Photography offered a stark contrast to dry statistical data, making the human cost of environmental catastrophe more tangible and immediate. The visual documentation played a critical role in persuading policymakers to take action, demonstrating the urgent need for intervention. For example, Lange's Migrant Mothers was used in government reports and exhibitions to raise awareness about the conditions faced by migrant workers. The power of these photographs lay not just in their emotional impact, but also in their ability to illustrate the specific challenges faced by communities. Visual documentation like this ensured that policy responses were tailored to address the real issues on the ground. By bringing the human face of the crisis into sharp focus, photography played a crucial role in shaping policies that addressed both the immediate needs and long-term effects of environmental catastrophe. The Dust Bowl was more than just an environmental crisis. It was a human tragedy that left indelible marks on the hearts and minds of those who endured its ravages. Beyond the stark realities captured by photographers like Dorothea Lange, there were creative outlets that migrants turned to in their quest for solace and healing. One of these therapeutic tools was art therapy, the use of artistic expression to process trauma and cope with the emotional fallout of the catastrophe. Art created by migrants during this era serves as a testament to their resilience. These works often depict scenes of despair and hope, mirroring the duality of their experiences. For example, paintings by migrant artists frequently show desolate landscapes juxtaposed with small moments of human connection and warmth. These artworks provided a tangible way to confront the bleak realities of their new lives, while also finding moments of beauty within them. Sculptures and crafts made from found materials, such as dried mud or scraps of fabric, offered a sense of control in an otherwise chaotic world. These artifacts not only express the migrants' emotions, but also preserve their stories for future generations to understand. The lasting impact of these creative outlets on mental health cannot be overstated. Art therapy allowed migrants to express feelings they might otherwise have suppressed, providing a pathway to healing and emotional resilience. The ability to find hope and beauty amidst despair is a powerful reminder of the human capacity for endurance in the face of environmental catastrophe. Art has long been recognized as a powerful tool for healing and expression, particularly in the face of trauma. For those affected by environmental catastrophes like the Dust Bowl, art served not only as a form of documentation, but also as therapy, providing an outlet for emotions that were otherwise difficult to process. During the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl era, many migrant camps set up programs where individuals could engage in drawing, painting, and other forms of artistic expression. These initiatives were not mere recreational activities, they were therapeutic in nature, aimed at helping people cope with the psychological strain of their circumstances. These paintings provided a window into her inner world, offering glimpses of the emotional turmoil and resilience that she experienced during those trying times. The artwork, often depicting scenes from her life in the camps or her memories of better days, served as a cathartic release for Thompson. Moreover, these artistic endeavours were not isolated incidents. Similar programs were implemented across various migrant camps to provide emotional support and healing. The act of creating art allowed individuals to express their fears, hopes, and memories in a tangible form that was both personal and communal. By sharing these artistic expressions with others in the camp, migrants found solace and connection, understanding that they were not alone in their struggles. The art served as a silent testament to their endurance and a reminder of the beauty that could still be found amidst the despair. In the end, the use of art in these therapeutic programs underscores the deeper psychological impact of environmental catastrophes and the resilience of those who experienced them firsthand. It is a powerful reminder that even in the darkest hours, there are ways to find hope and healing through creative expression. This resilience, captured so poignantly in Dorothea Lange's photograph, extends beyond the image itself into the lives of those who endured and found ways to heal through art. The story of Florence Owens Thompson's paintings is just one example of how art played a crucial role in coping with the trauma of environmental disaster. As we reflect on these histories, we recognise that healing is not merely about physical recovery, but also about emotional repair and finding beauty in the midst of hardship. The arts have consistently shown their ability to bridge this gap, offering a pathway towards inner strength and peace.